in the double. Number 1, King of the Blues, owned by Richard Van Meter, Randy Owens, and Melvin Riviello with Mike Wilder. 2, Pan It Up, owned by Scott Glendon, Mark Ader with Dan Ader. Number 3, Daddy Shadow, owned by Rhonda Stidham, Robert and Francis DeMeo, Rainsman Rocky Stidham. 4 is Howdy Hanover, owned by Clarence Ham with Dave Hawk aboard. Number 5, Bubba Gump, owned by John Ezo with David Miller in the bike. 6 is When Her J, owned by J. Bruce Wenger, Harley Ruda, driven by Jeff Fout. 7 is Keystone Reno, owned by Nola Henry with Justin Hall. And number 8 is Fonda Samadhi, owned by David Up. Charlie Neff will be in the sulky. Field for the first 3 minutes till post. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Daddy Shadow between horses takes the lead with a rush on the outside. When Her J. King of the Blues along the rail on the far outside. Fonda Samadhi there down the backstretch. Nearest the rail, Daddy Shadow wants the top. When Her J, 2-hole, duck and tuck. Followed by King of the Blues, doubled up in third. Going to be a long mile for Fonda Samadhi fourth. After that, Pan It Up, 4 more lengths into Bubba Gump, Keystone Reno. And Howdy Hanover there by the opening quarter in a solid 28 1/5. Racing past the stands, Daddy Shadow has got the lead for 3, and Rocky Stidham. Bouncing right along, it's Daddy Shadow. When Her J second. King of the Blues skimming the pylons in third. Pan It Up comes up on the outside fourth. Bubba Gump is underway to fifth. Around the paddock turn, Fonda Samadhi. Also catching live cover, Keystone Reno and Howdy Hanover. They're at the half-mile pole in a good 56 4. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Daddy Shadow trying to make every polo winning one, leads the way. Pan It Up is up on the rim, attacking second, followed by When Her J in third. Bubba Gump live cover on the outside fourth. King of the Blues racing fifth. Fonda Samadhi is up on the outside. Further out comes Keystone Reno. The trailer remains long shot Howdy Hanover. As they move by 3/4, Daddy Shadow is there in 125 4. Around the far turn, Daddy Shadow's got the lead. Bubba Gump driving wide and hard second. When Her J third. Ranging up on the outside, King of the Blues fourth. They're at the head of the stretch. Daddy Shadow, Bubba Gump on the outside. When Her J closing between horses. King of the Blues on the far outside. Bubba Gump is gonna reach. It's Bubba Gump. Daddy Shadow, When Her J will finish third. Result of tonight's first race is now official. 5-3 exacted, $22.60, $22.60. 5-3-6 try, $222.60. And the dollar box, $111.30. Here comes Bubba Gump, 4-year-old bay horse by Abercrombie out of Mini Girl Mindale. Owned in Columbus by John Ezo, trained by Todd Christie, driven tonight by David Miller. Covering the mile here in 154 1. Number 5, Bubba Gump, the winner of tonight's first race. Post time will be 7:35 for the second. No changes in tonight's second race. Field for tonight's second race coming out onto the track. Stallions in gelding condition pace. Exact and trifecta wagering. Number 1, Bartolino, owned by the Pate Creek Farm. Jody Essig drives. Number 2 is Bomb Squad, owned by Charles and William Wingfield. Robert Wilson and Jim Campbell, driven by David Miller. 3 is Flaming Dragon, owned by Michael Colvin and Ronald B. Love with Del S. Miller. 4, Bam Bam and Pebbles, owned by David Franklin. Randy Tharps will be aboard. 5, Southern Spirit, owned by Chester Alt. Jeff Fout will be in the bike. 6, Western Gentleman, owned by John and Victoria Howard with David Hawk. 7 is HALBERT HYLIGHT, owned by the HYLIGHT Stable and Brian Brown with Mike Wilder. Number 8 is Gray Flyer, owned by Julie Farley. Jim Daly will be in the sulky. 6 minutes till post time. Motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. HALBERT HYLIGHT on the far outside with a rush between horses. Bomb Squad takes the lead. Bomb Squad, 3 parts of a length. Bartolino quickly along the rail is in the second. followed by Flaming Dragon in third. Western Gentleman searching for a spot in fourth. Here comes Southern Spirit along the rail, taken back a bit, HALBERT HYLIGHT as they make their way to the first turn. Gray Flyer, Bam Bam and Pebbles is the trailer as they roll by the opening quarter-mile pole. Bomb Squad in a good 27-2. Here's Western Gentleman driving up on the outside, a challenge for the lead. Bomb Squad going to be sent and sent hard. Western Gentleman attacking on the rim in second. Bartolino enjoying the speed duel in third like a fine wine. Around the clubhouse turn, Flaming Dragon. After that, the free-legged youngster, Southern Spirit, the gray. Gray Flyer, HALBERT HYLIGHT, and at the end, Bam Bam and Pebbles. 56 and the teletimers on tilt. Straightening out for their long journey down the backstretch. Bomb Squad, 3 parts of a length. Western Gentleman still in the rim. Game second, tucked in there. Bartolino third. Off the rail, Flaming Dragon fourth. Up the pylon, Southern Spirit. Gray Flyer to his outside. HALBERT HYLIGHT and Bam Bam and Pebbles. Racing by 3/4. Bomb Squad has faced and met every challenge so far. 124-4. Around the far turn. Bomb Squad a length. Bartolino cocked, locked, and ready to rock. Southern Spirit drives up on the outside, and here's Gray Flyer. Off the turn, in the stretch, they're on their way home. Bomb Squad takes them down the stretch. Here comes Southern Spirit up on the outside. Bomb Squad, Southern Spirit, head bob to decide it. Bomb Squad may have held it very tight. Any vet, contact the test barn. Need any veterinarian to please contact the test barn at once. Here's a rundown of the second. Bartolino was third. Bomb Squad, the winner. Flaming Dragon was sixth. Bam Bam and Pebbles fifth. Southern Spirit second. Western Gentleman eighth. HALBERT HYLIGHT was seventh, and Gray Flyer fourth. 316-528-7-4. The mile 153-4. Field for tonight's third race. On the track, scratch number 8, Attaboy John Lame. Superfecta wagering here is the field. Number 1, TNT Hanover, owned by Mel Riviello, Randy Owens, and Richard Van Meter, with driver Mike Wilder. 2 is He's Promising, owned by Charles Curran Jr. and Ryan Holton. 3 is Boyle Elmhurst, owned by Victoria Howard, with David Miller. Number 4, Broadway Clamor, owned by Darby's Ed Stable, John Kohler, driven by Del S. Miller. Number 5, it's Showtime, owned by Chad Folk, with Jack Daly, 6 Yankee Gourmet, owned by Charles Autry, with Jody Essig. 7, Tim Pam Atamio, owned by John Tatham, with Jeff Fout. Number 7, number 8, Attaboy John has been scratched. 9, Devil of a Day, owned by Bruce Roberts, Michelle Strickland, and H. Howard Murray and David Hawk. And number 10 is Rambo Robbie, owned by Tom Ryan. Randy Tharps will be in the sulky. Field for the third, Superfecta wagering. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing, beating the gate like a thoroughbred. Boyle Elmhurst right to the front. Devil of a Day charging up on the far outside, and Tim Pam Atamio. Only one way for him to go, and that's the highway. Quickly on the rail, TNT Hanover out from between horses. Broadway Clamor with a rush along the rail. Here comes Rambo Robbie. After that, it's Showtime. Followed up on the outside by He's Promising. The tailgate is Yankee Gourmet. Pretty good clip here, 27-1. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Boyle Elmhurst bidding for 5 in a row has got him jammed up in behind. Boyle Elmhurst leads away by an easy length. The Roan is up on the outside, second and challenging. Broadway Clamor. TNT Hanover, the pocket sitter, in third. Here comes Rambo Robbie fourth. Long mile, Tim Pam Atamio on the outside to fifth. Nearest the rail, Devil of a Day. After that, it's Showtime. Here's He's Promising, moving on the outside, and Yankee Gourmet will have to come from the back burner. They're at the half in 57-2 up the backstretch. Boyle Elmhurst continues to show his heels to the field. TNT Hanover will have to wait for the passing lane. Broadway Clamor still holding gamely on the outside from third. Rambo Robbie fourth. He's promising 3 wide to the far outside. The big horse Can't Go On, Tim Pam Atomio. Followed by Devil of a Day on the far outside, Yankee Gourmet, and it's showtime. 126 and 4. Moving to the top of the stretch. Boyle Elmerhurst leads the way. TNT Hanover second. The 10 needs racing room. Rambo Robbie. Broadway Clamors up on the outside. He's promising, trying for a minor share. Racing through the stretch. Boyle Elmerhurst is all alone. It's Boyle Elmerhurst, TNT Hanover. Broadway Clamor third, and the 10, Rambo Robbie fourth. Ohio Sire Stakes action for age pacers. 5th leg, 1st division, and the purse $12,500. Scratch number 6, Magic Warrior Judges. Here's the field. Number 1, Call Me Nuke, owned by Ron Gorby, driven by Jack Daly. 2, Noble Ho, owned by the Redland Stable and Tom York with Dan Ader. Number 3, Tucson Time, owned by driver Doug Snyder and Dave Slyman. Number 4 is Noble Sam, owned by Vincent Rakestraw, Greg Radosky, and Vincent Miller and Randy Tharps, who will be aboard. 5 is Crisp Sabra, owned by Jack Shear and Ronald Poisty. David Miller will be in the sulky. Scratch number 6, Magic Warrior. 6 minutes till post time. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Crisp Sabra, far outside, takes the lead. Noble Sam, middle of the racetrack, and Noble Ho. Down the backstretch, Call Me Nuke. Tucson Time is up on the far outside. Speeding to the first 1/8 of a mile, Crisp Sabra has grabbed the racetrack. Tucked in there second, Noble Ho, Noble Sam third. Gap of 3 to Call Me Nuke, and the trailer is Tucson Time. Speeding to the quarter-mile pole, but slowed down in the second 1/8. Crisp Sabra is there, 27 and 3. Quintet lengths apart past the stands. Tucson Times coming from the back. Under the finish line the first time, Crisp Sabra, 1 on a nickel, has been joined. On the outside by Tucson Times, second. Noble Ho will sit the pocket third. Driving up on the outside, Call Me Nuke. Noble Sam will take the third in box. He's 5th and last. Around the clubhouse, turn of the half-mile pole. Crisp Sabra, Tucson Time, better be good to face this guy. They're at the half in 56 and 2 up the backstretch. Bounding right along Crisp Sabra. At his wheel disc in second, Tucson Time and Noble Ho. Noble Sam behind him. Still on the outside, Call Me Nuke with less than 3/8 of a mile to pace. Crisp Sabra disposes of Tucson Time. Noble Ho coming back to regain second. Racing by 3/4, Crisp Sabra is there, 125. Getting serious now as they make their way to the top of the stretch, and the whip is on David Miller's shoulder. Crisp Sabra under confident handling. Ranging up on the outside, Noble Ho. Noble Sam, Tucson Time gives way in a tough one. Call Me Nuke is 5th. Lines are drawn now. Racing through the stretch. Crisp Sabra, Noble Ho. Crisp Sabra, 4 in a row for David Miller. Tight for second and 153. Winner of tonight's 4th race, Crisp Sabra. 4-year-old bay gelding by Towner's Big Guy out of Cool Sabra. Owned by Jack Shear of North Lawrence, Ronald Poisty of North Canton. Trained by Jeff Cox. Driven tonight by David Miller, going wire to wire in 153. Number 5, Crisp Sabra, the winner, and that's the first 4 on the program tonight for David Miller. He'll drive 8, HYLIGHT, in tonight's 5th race, where number 7, Tyler's Big Mark, has been scratched. Mr. Jack Chester from our board of directors will be on hand to Meet and greet the winning connections of tonight's fourth race, Mr. Jack Chester from our board of directors. Post time 14 minutes away, 8:37. In this race, scratch 7, Tyler's Big Mark, Sick. Here comes the field for tonight's fifth race, 6 minutes till post time. First half of the twin trifecta, just about 5,000 in the carryover. Number 7, Tyler's Big Mark has been scratched, Sick. Number 1, Jerry Direct. Owned by Rebecca Dwyer, Jack Daly drives. 2, Chip and Mindale, owned by David Ehrenberg with Charlie Neff. 3, Native Dragon, owned by the Bay Racing Stable with Mike Wilder. Number 4, Crown Time Stoney, owned by Esther Crownover, driven by Dan Ader. Number 5 is Osborne's Big Guy, owned by Tin Cup Ware. And Trish Soulsby, Randy Tharps on the bike. 6, EJ's Thunder, owned by Richard Smith and Bill Irvine. 7, Tyler's Big Mark has been scratched, Sick. And number 8 is Hannes Highlight, owned by John and Victoria Howard. David Miller will be in the sulky. Scratch number 7, 5,000 in the carryover. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off in pacing. 8, Hannes Highlight is off stride before the start on the far outside. Osborne's Big Guy gets the lead. Jerry Direct moves in to be second. Crown Time Stoney's up on the outside third. Chip and Mindale fourth. Native Dragon to fifth. Around the top turn, EJ's Thunder, and the 8 is still off stride. Hannes Highlight as they move to the quarter-mile pole. Osborne's Big Guy, Randy Tharps control the front end by about 3. Jerry Direct is in the second. They open up in a good 27-4. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Osborne's Big Guy leads the way. Jerry Direct, the stalker, in second. Past the stands, Crown Time Stoney third. Chip and Mindale starts the action from mid-pack fourth. Native Dragon comes to the outside. EJ's Thunder. And at the end, Hannes Highlight around the clubhouse turn to the half-mile pole. Bouncing right along, it's Osborne's Big Guy and Randy Tharps are at the half. 58 seconds flat, they should have plenty left. Speeding down the backstretch. Osborne's Big Guy leads the way by an easy length and a half. Jerry Direct is in the second. Chip and Mindale floats on the outside third. Crown Time Stoney back to fourth, ranging up on the outside. Native Dragon. EJ's Thunder is now moving up on the outside, and Hannes Highlight down to 6, hub to hub by 3/4. Osborne's Big Guy is there, 126-3. Trying to sting him on the far turn. Osborne's Big Guy. Jerry Direct is right there in second. Crown Time Stoney third. Chip and Mindale can't go on as the field straightens away. 6 wide in the drive. Jerry Direct on the outside looks for the lead. Trying to fight back Osborne's Big Guy, but he's no match tonight. It's Jerry Direct, Osborne's Big Guy, and Crown Time Stoney 4. Here comes the winner of the fifth, 1, Jerry Direct, a 4-year-old bay gelding by Tudor Scooter out of Sissy Way. But in Jamestown, Ohio, by Rebecca Dwyer, trained by Josh Green. Given the consummate drive tonight by Jack Daly to score here in a lifetime best, 154-3. 1, Jerry Direct, the winner. Windows are now up and on the 6th. Final leg of the pick 3, scratch 4. Blue Ribbon scratched the 4. Post time at 8:57. Here comes the field for tonight's 6th race. Final leg of the pick 3, exact and trifecta wagering, 1, Western Pursuit. Owned by Darby's Edge Stable, John Kaler, driven by Mike Wilder. 2, Let's Rock, owned by Ralph Conley Jr. and David Hawk. 3, I'm Steven. Owned by Charles Brannigan, Randy Tharps, the reinsman. 4, Blue Ribbon has been scratched by the judges. 5, Roadster Sabra, owned by the Shure Cohen Racing Limited with Del S. Miller. 6, Little Guy Kobe, owned by Keith and Donna Roth with Bob Harper. 7, Magellan Hanover, owned by Brooks N1 Racing Incorporated. Bill Walters will be in the sulky. Scratch the 4, Blue Ribbon, post time in 6 minutes. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. I'm Steven between horses takes the lead. Western Pursuit along the rail. Red Rock moving up on the outside. Roadster Sabra, Little Guy, Kobe, and Magellan Hanover. As they move to the quarter-mile pole, and I'm Steven quickly grabs the racetrack. Let's Rock, though, is going to move to challenge early tonight. Western Pursuit will watch the dueling leaders from third. Tucked in there, Roadster Sabra, Magellan Hanover, and Little Guy, Colby. Opening up here, 27-2. Past the stands to the half-mile pole. Getting stung pretty good. Let's Rock, the 6-5 favorite. Let's Rock on the outside, moves away. I'm Steven. We'll see if he can win from off the pace tonight. Western Pursuit is into third. Roadster Sabra fourth. Magellan Hanover in fifth. Little Guy Colby, the long shot at 20-1, rides the tailgate. At the half in an excellent 55-4, Let's Rock carves this one out. Let's Rock, I'm Steven second. Western Pursuit a closer third. Second division, fourth back, Roadster Sabra, Magellan Hanover, and Little Guy Colby. Heading to the final quarter, 6 and a nickel favorite, Let's Rock is doing just that. Let's Rock. Here comes I'm Steven exiting the pocket on the outside. The passing lane will now belong to Western Pursuit in 125. Around the far turn, Let's Rock is under a double purple Baby Nelson right now. Let's Rock has got the lead. I'm Steven dropping back a shade. Western Pursuit the danger. They're into the stretch. Dave Hawk sets down Let's Rock. Western Pursuit flanks him. Roadster Sabra closing 100 along the passing lane. Let's Rock is game. Let's Rock. Western Pursuit, Roadster Sabra third. 2, Let's Rock. 3-year-old Baycolt by Dragon's Lair out of Castellets. Owned in Miamisburg by Ralph Conley Jr. Trained by Virgil Morgan. Driven tonight virtually wire-to-wire by David Hawk to establish a lifetime best of 154-2. Number 2, Let's Rock, the unofficial winner of tonight's 6th race. Training double tonight. Training double tonight for Virgil Morgan. The 2-1 exacta, $12.80. The try, $53.20. The early pick 3, $95.60. Windows are open on the 7th race in a field of 8 and no program changes. Post time will be 14 minutes away at 9:16. Owned by Clarence and Rhonda Gillum. Ralph Leo Grande drives. Number 2, Fun Time Go Getter, owned by F.T.F. Incorporated with Bob Harper. 3, Shady Rival, owned by Dan Meyer with Dave Hawk. 4, Scrappy Eddie, owned by Walter Kaplinger with Jim Daly. 5, Noble Chairman, owned by Molly Farmer and Joanne Armbruster with Del S. Miller in the bike. 6, Gifted Cowboy, owned by Diana Ackley and Norma Huber with David Miller. 7, Lord Tinsel, owned by Doug Parker, Harry Berger, and Craig Parker with Darren Mauser. 8, Princeton Spur, owned by Charles Autry. Jody Essig will be in the sulky. Field for tonight's 7th race. Exact and trifecta wagering. Field for race 7 has taken that final turn. Starting gate is underway. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Fun Time Go Getter takes the lead. There goes Noble Chairman up on the outside. Bread Box along the rail. They're down the backstretch. Followed by Shady Rival in 4, Scrappy Eddie 5th. Gifted Cowboy, Lord Tinsel, Princeton Spur wide to the turn. Driving away on top, Fun Time Go Getter by an easy 2. Noble Chairman is now second. A big gap now into third, about 5 lengths to Bread Box. After that, Shady Rival moving by the opening quarter. Realistic 27-4. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Fun Time Go Getter, the one to chase down, getting a bit of a respite here in quarter number 2. Noble Chairman is in the second. Bread Box to third. Shady Rival fourth. Gifted Cowboy comes to the outside. Scrappy Eddie got caught. Tipping and rolling out of the trailers. Lord Tinsel and Princeton Spur. 5 in, 3 out, 8 are on gate to the half-mile pole. Fun Time Go-Getter waltzing them by there in 57 and 4. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Fun Time Go-Getter strong tonight, leads the way. Gifted Cowboy comes to the outside, and we're off to the rodeo. Down the backstretch, Noble Chairman is in the third. Breadbox can't loaf around in fourth. Far outside, Lord Tinsel, Princeton Spurs, Shady, Rival, and Scrappy Eddie. Hub to hub as they race to 3/4. Fun Time Go-Getter right alongside Gifted Cowboy. He begins to wear him down in 1:26 and 1. Around the far turn, Fun Time Go-Getter. Gifted Cowboy eyeing him up on the outside off the rail. Noble Chairman third. Top of the stretch. They're in the stretch. Gifted Cowboy goes on to get the lead. Here comes Noble Chairman powering down the middle of the racetrack. Dave Miller draws the sword. Gifted Cowboy in front. Here comes the unofficial winner of tonight's 7th race, number 6, Gifted Cowboy. 3-year-old brown colt by Western Hanover out of NL Breda. Owned by Diana Ackley of Washington Courthouse and Norman Huber of Cincinnati. Team Morgan strikes again, 3 for Virgil, 5 for David Miller. The mile 1:53 and 4 and a lifetime best for 6 Gifted Cowboy. 6.5 exacta, $42 even. The try, $288.20, $288.20. Windows are now up and on race 8, $15,000 claiming pace in a field of 7. Nobody had tonight's twin try, over 7,700 when we go again on Monday with live racing. Post time 14 minutes away, 9:35, a 5-bagger out of 6 drives tonight for David Miller. Here's a rundown. Breadbox was third. Fun Time Go-Getter fourth. Shady Rival fifth. Scrappy Eddie was eighth. Noble Chairman was second. Gifted Cowboy the winner. Lord Tinsel sixth, and Princeton Spur was seventh. 3-4-5, 8-2-1-6-7, and the mile was 1:53 and 4. Minutes until post time. 1 Greystone Paycheck, owned by Jeff Gibson and David Decker, driven by Jeff Fout. 2 Parkham Mark, owned by Jerome Grogan with Mike Wilder. 3 Such a Fuss, owned by Alex Spence Jr., and the driver is David Hawk. 4 I'm a Bad Man, owned by B.L. Conway and Mark Evers aboard. 5 Keep On Truckin' Sam, owned by Charles Autry with Jody Essig. 6 TMJ, owned by Scott Mogan with Randy Tharps, and 7 is Dusty Plains, owned by Dan Ader. David Miller will be in the sulky. Field for tonight's 8th race, post time in 6 minutes. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Such a Fuss takes the lead. Parkham Mark far outside. TMJ, they're down the backstretch. Keep On Truckin' Sam, late lever, 4th. Greystone is 5th. I'm a Bad Man and Dusty Plains rolling to the first 1/8 of a mile. Driving up on the outside, TMJ now gets the lead. TMJ on top, Such a Fuss racing second, followed by Parkham Mark in third. Keep On Truckin' Sam 4th, Greystone Paycheck. I'm a Bad Man and Dusty Plains 26 and 4. Flying past the stands. TMJ bouncing along with an easy 1.5 length advantage. White Hood belongs to Such a Fuss in second, past the stands. Parkham Mark third. Keep On Truckin' Sam is now 4th. Here comes Greystone. He'll start the train from the back of the pack. I'm a Bad Man tips and rolls, and setting sail from the back, Dusty Plains, 7 to make up. They're at the half-mile pole. TMJ bouncing along, 57 and 1. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. The field is now double-deckered. Bouncing along TMJ by a length. Parkham Mark a little bit rough on the outside. Parkham Mark has jumped off stride as they leave the 5/8, head to 3/4. TMJ continues to lead the way. Such a Fuss, the stalker, second. Greystone uncovered third. Nearest the rail, Keep On Truckin' Sam. The big horse is on the attack. I'm a Bad Man, Dusty Plains wide and driving, and Parkham Mark by 3/4. 125 and 4. Driving around the far turn. TMJ begins to get away. TMJ by a widening 4. In between horses, Greystone, Paycheck. I'm a Bad Man, Dusty Plains on the far outside. Racing through the stretch. TMJ on top by a good margin. It's TMJ. I'm a Bad Man up second. The 5 will finish third. Keep on trucking, Sam. TMJ, 6-year-old bay gelding by flight director out of Windtross, owned and trained in Asheville by Scott Mogan. Driven tonight by Randy Tharps, covering that mile here in 1:54 and 1. To equal his lifetime best. 6 TMJ, the winner. Trophy by Danielle, Glenda, and Gretchen. Here comes the field for tonight's 9th race, 14 live on the card tonight. Number 1, Polaris Parkway, owned by Florence Lenahan. Dallas Miller drives. 2, Nardi Jeff, owned by Richard and Peggy Payne with driver Jim Daly. 3 is Hey Sam, owned by Palpack Stables and David Hawk. 4, Laughter in the Rain, owned by Richard Lee, Mabra, and Rocky Stidham. 5, Daring Lie, owned by Howard Taylor, Mary, and Bruce Walls with Jody Essig. 6 is Buckeye Cy, owned by David Bainter with David Miller. 7, KL Sharpshooter, owned by Tony Ware and Randy Tharps. 8, Wiley Deer, owned by John Wiley. Jeff Fout will bring this horse out of post 8. 5 minutes till post. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Middle of the racetrack, Laughter in the Rain. KL Sharpshooter far outside. Hey Sam is leaving. Here comes Nardi Jeff, driving through along the rail. Polaris Parkway up on the outside. Daring Live, Buckeye Cy, and Wiley Deer. As they move to the quarter-mile pole, and Hey Sam has got the early lead. Hey Sam on top, Laughter in the Rain second, bypassing the 3-hole. Here comes KL Sharpshooter, moving up on the outside at a steady clip. Moving by the opening quarter, a moderate 27 and 4. From the outside, KL Sharpshooter brushes to the front. KL Sharpshooter on top by an easy length and 3/4. Back into the pocket, you'll find Hey Sam. Ranging up on the outside, Nardi Jeff and Laughter in the Rain takes the 4th in box. Buckeye Side being carted up on the outside. Polaris Parkway has got a lot of streets to cross from here as they move around the paddock turn. Wiley Deer is up on the outside. Daring Lie is 8th along the rail, 57 and 1. Out of the turn and down the backstretch. KL Sharpshooter leads the way. Nardi Jeff supplies the challenge. Ranging up on the outside, live cover, Buckeye Side 3rd. Hey Sam sits the pocket 4th down the backstretch. Laughter in the Rain 5th. Moving up on the outside, Wiley Deer shaking free. Daring Lie, nowhere to go, Polaris Parkway. 3 horses gang up for command. Buckeye Side gets the short lead in 3/4 time in 125 and 3. Around the far turn, Buckeye Side goes on by to get the lead. Dropping back into second, KL Sharpshooter as the field straightens away. Looks like a 6-bagger right now. Buckeye Side by a widening 5. KL Sharpshooter is in the second. Daring Lie is up on the far out third. That's Buckeye Side tight for second. KL Sharpshooter over 3, Hey Sam. Buckeye Cy, a 5-year-old bay gelding by J.J. Citation out of Equilibrium. Owned in Columbus by Dave Bainter. Team Morgan strikes again. 4 tonight for trainer Virgil. 6 tonight for David Miller, the driver. The mile time here, 1:54.6. Buckeye Cy, the winner. 6 wins tonight so far for David Miller, a training 4-bagger for Virgil Morgan. The 6-7 exact to be turning $11.40. The try, $77 even. Windows are now open on race 10. An open 1 pace in a field of 6. Post time will be upcoming here in 14 minutes at 10:13. Comes the field for tonight's co-featured pace, $9,000 open 1 in a field of 6 and 1 Fantastic Frisky. Owned by Kermit Travis, Del S. Miller drives. Number 2 is Corporal Baker, owned by Robert Markell with Jody Essig. Number 3 is Western Hero, owned by the Brittany Farms with Jeff Fout. 4, Speculum, owned by Dan Meyer and Orville Schroeder with David Stratton. 5, Casino Cam, owned by Victoria and John Howard and Joanne Nichols with David Miller. Number 6, Travis Hanover, over the White Creek Stable. Dave Hawk will be in the sulky. That is the field here for race number 10, exact and trifecta, wagering 6 minutes till post. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Corporal Baker between horses takes the lead. Here's Casino Cam rushing to the front on the far outside. Casino Cam quickly grabs the racetrack. Western Hero being parked in the middle of the racetrack. Here's Travis Hanover up on the outside. Corporal Baker, the rail horse, Fantastic Frisky. And the trailer is Long Shot Speculum. They're in 2 rows here as they already have garnered position by the opening quarter in 27 flat. Speeding past the stands, here comes Western Hero. He wants to be the last to clear, going to the 3/8. Western Hero drives away on top. Travis Hanover now second, racing third, Casino Cam, followed by Corporal Baker. After that, Fantastic Frisky and Speculum. Around the clubhouse turn to the half-mile pole, bouncing right along the odds-on favorite Western Hero. They're at the half-mile pole with Travis Hanover second, racing past the half in 56. Out of the turn and down the backstretch. Western Hero bouncing right along. Travis Hanover in second, driving up on the outside, Speculum third. Casino Cam got shuffled back to fourth. Fantastic Frisky far outside, and Corporal Baker in boot camp sixth. Off the 3/4 by an easy length and a half, Western Hero. Speculum attacking second, can't get to him. By 3/4, 125 and 2. Moving around the far turn. Western Hero continues to lead the way. Travis Hanover in second. Speculum is up on the outside. Casino Cam, Fantastic Frisky. Trailer remains Corporal Baker racing through the stretch. It's Western Hero, Travis Hanover, Casino Cam fighting through between horses. But it's Western Hero going to be tight for second, Casino Cam and Travis Hanover. Here's the winner, Jeff Fountain 3, Western Hero, 3-year-old bay colt by Western Hanover out of Leah Almahurst. Owned in Versailles, Kentucky by Brittany Farms, trained by Alan Regal, given a well-judged drive by Jeff Fout, covering the mountain 153 and 3. Number 3, Western Hero, the winner of the 10th. 3/6 exacta, $8.60. The try, $19.60. Windows are now up and on race 11. Condition Pacers exact and trifecta wagering. No changes in the next 3 races. 14th and final, Randy Tharps driving 6, Mr. Whip. Randy Tharps driving 6, Mr. Whip in the 14th. Post time for race 11 at 10:31. Run down at 10, Fantastic Frisky 4th, Corporal Baker 6th. Here comes the field for tonight's 11th race, exacta and trifecta wagering. Number 1, Too Much Monkey with Jeff Fout. 4, Full Time Sam, owned by Tim Johnston, Charles Amicon, Connie Morgan, and Roland Rue with David Miller aboard. 5 is Hoosier Whiz, owned by Bill White's White Creek Stable with Dave Hawk in the bike. 6, Bud's Victory, owned by Terry Gillen with Jody Essig. Number 7 is Bunny Scoot, owned and driven by Debbie Day. 8, Rambo Lane, owned by Jeffrey and Kevin Reed. Dean Collins will be in the sulky. No changes in race 11, 5 minutes till post. Before race 11 is at the gate and moving through the turn. And there they go. They're off and pacing with a rush on the far outside as the 4 jumps off stride. Full-time Sam, but really catches quickly. Just a minor misstep there, and there goes Hoosier Whiz to get the lead. Hoosier Whiz drives away on top. Bud's Victory is in the second. Too Much Monkey Business third. Midnight Heat in fourth. Full-time Sam settled down. After that, Samarama, followed by Bunny Scoot and Rambo Lane. Moving by the opening quarter in 27-3. Seating arrangements are complete. Bouncing right along, it's Hoosier Whiz by an easy length and a half. Bud's Victory in second. No tempo here right now. Too Much Monkey Business in third. Midnight Heat fourth. Getting caught along the rail. Full-time Sam. Samarama comes to the outside. Bunny Scoot with some work to do in Rambo Lane, the tailgate. Around the clubhouse, turn to the half. No excuses right now for Hoosier Whiz. He really stole one here. In quarter number 2, they're at the half in 58-1. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Hoosier Whiz on top. The gray comes to take him on. Too Much Monkey Business. Followed in third by Bud's Victory. Ranging up on the outside, Samarama. Followed by Midnight Heat, Full-time Sam. Bunny Scoot is now charting up on the outside in Rambo Lane. 7 are double-deckered, speeding to 3/4. Hoosier Whiz picks it up. Hoosier Whiz in the gray, Too Much Monkey Business, who swings up on the outside, 126-4. Around the far turn, this one is wide open. Hoosier Whiz, the gray on the outside, coming to the far outside. Samarama's got the ooh-mow-mow right now. They're at the 16 pole. Hoosier Whiz, Too Much Monkey Business. Between horses, Bud's Victory, rocking chair drive for Dave Hawk. It's Hoosier Whiz. Midnight Heat up second, Samarama third. 5-2 exact to $61.80. The try, $250.60. In the winner's circle, Hoosier Whiz, 7-year-old bay son of Abercrombie out of Way to Be. Owned by Bill White's White Creek Stable of Palm Beach, Florida. Trained by Ron Potter. Driven tonight by Dave Hawk, going coast to coast at 154-2. Also starts the final pick 3. Race 14, Randy Tharps driving 6, Mr. Witt. Here comes the field for tonight's 12th race. Start of the final pick 3, Ohio Sire Stakes, 4 and 5-year-olds. 5th leg, second division for 12-5. Field of 7, number 1, Noble Land Court, owned by Richard Smith and James Kovacic with Bill Irvine. 2 is Eyes of Tiger, owned by John Morris and Robert A. Morris with Mike Wilder. 3 is TILLY'S Sam, owned by Daniel Patrick and Matthew Daly with David Miller. Number 4 is Cinder Lane Sam, owned by Skip Miller with David Hawk. Number 5 is Our General, owned by Kevin and Jeff Reed with Dean Collins. 6 KG Jake, owned by Keith and Donna Ross with Bob Harper. And number 7 is Meadowland Sam, owned by Tamara Hoovler and Mike Metters. Randy Tharps will be in the sulky. 6 minutes till post time. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Eyes of Tiger between horses takes the lead. KG Jake roars down the middle of the racetrack. Second up on the outside, Cinder Lane Sam to third. Noble Land Court moves in to be fourth. Followed by Tilly's Sam. After that, it's Our General and Meadowland Sam. As they speed to the quarter-mile pole, here comes Cinder Lane Sam bypassing the 3-hole, but might take back again. Quickly, though, Eyes of Tiger's got the top for Mike Wilder in 27-1. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Eyes of Tiger's got the top. First the flush. Coming with a rush, here's Tilly's Sam driving up on the outside second. KG Jake is in the third, out and moving. Cinder Lane Sam fourth. Noble Land Court tips and rolls. Around the clubhouse turn, Meadowland Sam is up on the outside of Our General. Tilly's Sam, though, brushing to the front, gets the lead. Tilly's Sam will also get the halftime call. 55-1, they're flying up the backstretch. Tilly's Sam will now try to make the rest of the way a winning one. Tilly's Sam bouncing along a length and a half. Eyes of Tiger stalking second. Down the backstretch, KG Jake in third. Cinder Lane Sam, game on the outside's got to do the dirty work. Nowhere to go for Our General. Far outside, Noble Land Court and Meadowland Sam. Side by side and stride for stride is Tilly's Sam. Guns them by 3/4. 123-3. Around the far turn, Tilly's Sam a length and a half. Eyes the Tiger stalking second. KG Jake slipping through from third. Here's Meadowland Sam with some work to do as they straighten away. Tilly's Sam brings them home. Tilly's Sam by 2. Eyes the Tiger's got some kick, and here's Our General flying on the pylons, but it's a 7-bagger for David Miller. Tilly's Sam, Eyes the Tiger, KG Jake rallies for third. David Miller's own record here at Scioto Downs with 6 victories. That is now his 7th trip to the winner's circle tonight, with Canadian and Meadowlands Invader Tilly's Sam, a 4-year-old brown gelding by Nobleland Sam out of Chantilly Fanning, owned by Daniel, Patrick, and Matthew Daly of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, trained by Bill Robinson. Hard driven tonight by David Miller to equal his lifetime best of 151-4. Number 3, Tilly's Sam, the winner, and a 7-bagger tonight for David Miller. Mr. Luther Heckman, the chairman of the Racing Commission, in the winner's circle for tonight's 12th race, Sire Stakes Trophy presentation. The 3-2 exacta, $12.80, and the try, $189.40. Windows are now open on race 13, field of 7 and no changes. Post time will be in 16 minutes at 11:12. 14th race, Randy Tharps to drive the 6th, Mr. Whip. Here comes the field for tonight's 13th race. Middle leg of the late pick 3, exact and trifecta wagering. Number 1 is Ever Easy, owned by Charles and William Wingfield with Mike Wilder. 2, Master Line, owned by John and Victoria Howard with David Miller. 3, Alante Spur, owned by Alex Spence Jr. and David Hawk. 4, Golden Delivery, owned by Jeff Gibson, Jody Essig aboard, and 5, Dance on Air, owned by Keith Noble with Jeff Fout. 6, Witch Cam, owned by Arsena Farm, Hugh Sutherland, driven by Randy Tharps. 7, Smoky Butler, owned by Jeff and Ethel Dennis. Darren Mauser will be in the sulky. Field for race 13, 5 minutes till post. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Master Line between horses takes the lead. Golden Delivery draws alongside a Takeover Command. They're down the backstretch. Ever Easy moves in to be third, followed by Alante Spur in fourth. The favorite, Dance on Air, Witch Cam, and Smoky Butler. Master Line's coming again. Master Line up on the outside, brushes to the front while racing just a shade wide. Golden Delivery lets him go without too much of a fight. Second, 28-1. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Master Line, where he likes it best, out on top, has got the lead. Master Line by 2, jumping off stride further back in the field. That is the 3, Alante Spur, around the clubhouse turn. Under confident handling, Master Line trying to make every pole a winning one. Followed by Golden Delivery in second. Back of the pack, here comes Witch Cam. Ever Easy stays in, circling wide, Smoky Butler. After that, Dance on Air. Back down pacing, Alante Spur. 58-3 up the backstretch. Master Line continues to show his heels to the field. Master Line by an easy length. Back into the second spot, Golden Delivery parked and driving, Witch Cam third. Smoky Butler comes to the outside. Ever Easy will need Smoky Robinson and the Miracles from here and not Smoky Butler. Far outside, Dance on Air and Alante Spur, 127-1. They'll pace the turn and come on home. It's Master Line who has got the top. Driving up on the outside, Golden Delivery. Here's Ever Easy, also saving ground with a lot of work to do. Dance on Air. They're into the stretch. Master Line is long gone. Master Line has got the lead. Battle's going to be for the Dukes, and here's Dance on Air. Master Line, Dance on Air, and Ever Easy third. Master Line, 4-year-old brown son of King Cam, out of Prize Line by Prize Sarnell. Owned by John and Victoria Morgan of Morgantown, John and Victoria Howard of Morgantown. Trained by Virgil Morgan, giving him a 5-bagger. David Miller's 8th trip to the winner's circle tonight. Covering the mountain 155-2 to equal his lifetime best. Number 2, Master Line, the winner of race 13. 2-5 exacta, $14.40, and the try, $31.20. Windows are now up and on race 14. Number 6, Mr. Whip. The driver is going to be Randy Tharps. Randy Tharps driving 6, Mr. Whip. Post time in 15 minutes. We'll see if David Miller can rack up a 9-bagger tonight. Here comes the field for tonight's 14th and final. Condition and optional claiming pace 1 Holly Hill Limited. Owned by David Decker, driven tonight by Darren Mauser. 2 CL's Apollo Creed, owned by Paul Simpson with Jody Essig. 3 is Sterling, Ohio, owned by Crest Farms with David Miller. Number 4, Captain Smitty, owned by Sean Howell and Roy Thacker with David Hawk. 5, Shannon Post Time, owned by Marmick Incorporated with Dean Collins. 6, Mr. Whip, owned by Merle Moore, and a driver change to Randy Tharp. 7, My Toy GHC, owned by Rep Hard Reed with Jim Daly. 8, A League of His Own, owned by Michael and Thomas Colvin with Jeff Fout. 9, Shady Weather, owned by Danny Jones. Charles Little will be in the sulky. That is the field here for tonight's 14th race. 6 minutes till post. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Shannon Post Time takes the lead. Captain Smitty and Sterling, Ohio out for the lead. Holly Hill Limited takes over 4th along the rail. They're down the backstretch. Here's CL's Apollo in the 5th. After that, Mr. Whip. Between horses, My Toy GHC, wide and driving Shady Weather. And at the end, it's A League of His Own as they drive to the quarter-mile pole. From the outside, here comes Captain Smitty to get the lead. Shannon Post Time in the 2nd. They open up in a good 28 seconds flat. Ahoy, mateys. Captain Smitty's got the top. With a rush on the outside, here comes CL's Apollo. CL's Apollo on the outside, brushes to the front. Followed by Captain Smitty in 2nd. Mr. Whip driving up on the outside. Shannon Post Time and My Toy GHC. Sterling, Ohio's going to need some room in here as they wheel around the paddock turn, head to the half-mile pole. Holly Hill Limited is next. Driving up on the outside, Shady Weather and A League of His Own. They're at the half in a crisp 57-1. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. CL's Apollo continues to lead the way. Captain Smitty stalking in 2nd. Between horses, Mr. Whip 3rd. Shannon Post Time is 4th. Driving up on the far outside, My Toy GHC. Easing off the rail, Sterling, Ohio. Here comes Holly Hill Limited. A League of His Own and Shady Weather is wide, racing by 3/4 in a quick 1:26.3. Driving around the far turn, CL's Apollo on top. Captain Smitty looks to close from the poop deck. Mr. Whip is in the center. Sterling, Ohio is absolutely buried. He'll have to come to the far outside and does. Racing through the stretch, CL's Apollo. Captain Smitty along the rail. Here comes Sterling, Ohio, and it might be too little, too late, but he's still coming. Deep stretch, Captain Smitty, Sterling, Ohio, and Shannon Post Time 3rd. In the winner's circle was number 4, Captain Smitty, a 5-year-old bay gelding by Cura out of Janie Quinton, owned by Sean Howell and Roy Thacker of Circleville and Lockbourne. Trained by Roy Thacker Jr., driven tonight by David Hawk to give him a triple. The mile here in 1:57.